Hello all the crazy people out there, my name is Michael, I like wizards and dragons and making games, and let's get back on making games. It's time to do 3D wizards in GameMaker. Last time, the last 3 videos I spent working on push spells, so in a word, flipendo. We can push around blocks, we can push around like boulders and stuff to make them roll. We can push on buttons to make them activate, deactivate, whatever. And today I'm going to be working on a different spell, and that is going to be unlocking type spells. So we can open doors, we can open treasure chests, we can open other things that can be opened. So I've gone ahead and I have drawn my best attempt at a key symbol for the spell symbol for unlocking. It goes next to the push spell. I should probably organize these in the asset browser. I should probably put those in their own folder at some point. But first things, before I do anything else, let me go and just well, I guess show off what we'll be working with today. So I do have a treasure chest shaped... Okay, did I remove the original one already? I do have pieces of a treasure chest, so the base, the top, and the lock shape on our treasure chest. We'll be drawing those in parts based on whether or not the treasure chest is open and that sort of thing. That's probably going to be the main item of interest for today. No, I will not close that quite yet. I think... How should I start this? So I guess I can start this by going and, let's say, duplicating the toggle switch. And we'll give that a name that's like OBJ3D Spell Treasure Chest. That's a little bit long, but it gets the point across, and hopefully I won't be typing it in manually too often. I'm going to need to assign a spell type here, and it seems that... Alright, those are also, some kind of GameMaker asset that I'm really going to want to organize in the Seer Asset Browser eventually. OBJ spell unlock. Am I going to need to define... Or I did define an enum for a bunch of different spell types. And we can take the unlock spell and just drop that in the spell response variable definition for treasure chests. Anything that I need to customize about this? Spell symbol unlock, and also the spell type, like that. And if I were to go and create myself a treasure chest, let's see, I think I can close some of these tabs up here, right? Let me replace that button with a treasure chest. Your mesh is going to be just the chest. And I think that's all I need to do, and I should have a, it'll be like a jumbled mess, when it comes to visuals. We'll be, drawing the base, and we'll probably be drawing, the stuff inside it at some weird angle. I can't click on that. Do I have to give myself the unlock spell? I do. I have not learned that spell yet. I have to teach myself that spell. Anyway, so once I've done that, I can the collision for that is not working. All right, I'm also gonna have to I'm gonna have to define your collision. Oh, I did define a couple points on this object for the, basically the hinge where the top of the treasure chest is gonna go, and also on the front where the lock is gonna go, and those are just the attach points. But yeah, let me actually add real collision. It'd be really nice if I had just a from bounding box, collision shape option here, but alas. Alright, so we've got our regular collision, which is the inner box here, and we've also got our, our spell target, which is the outer box there. Okay, and first and foremost, we should be able to actually collide with the chest appropriately. So if I walk into you, I can't climb on you because you don't have a climb target, but I can walk into you, and I can cast a spell. And when I do that, we've got the top of the chest rotating in there because it's currently being told to behave like one of those toggle switches, which isn't really what we want. But firstly, commit the unlock spell setup. Let's see, so treasure chests. I'm going to want these to have a couple states, so I'm going to do the states first, as I have been doing. We've got closed. I'm going to call it closed and open instead of inactive and active. We've got opening. We've got open. And I can have a closing. I can have a closing state as well. But I suspect we're not really going to be doing much with closing treasure chests, only opening them. In terms of like behaving when you cast a spell on them, when the chest is closed, when it receives an unlock spell, it's going to go into the opening state. And I think the target angle, I worked out, the target angle is going to want to be about 120, I think. Maybe 135 or so when it's open if I really want it to swing wide. The movement speed, should I call it switch angle or chest angle? Let's call it chest angle. This is going to be the angle of the lid of the chest. And when you're in the closing state, you're going to change to closed instead of inactive. And those are going to be the states. So very similar to the toggle switch. Nothing's going to happen when you hit the deactive state, when you hit the closed state, so we can get rid of the on deactivation method event thing. And I think instead of calling it on activation, I'll call it like expel contents or something to that effect. So that's going to be the chest states. Right? In terms of visuals, this is going to be a little bit more complicated than the switch. So instead of just drawing the base and drawing the lever, which is the going to have the same transform as the switch, but rotated some amount, we're going to have to do a little bit of repositioning with the top of the chest, moving it into place with the red attach point in this corner here, as I called it the hinge. If I was a real game dev, I would be making this like skeletal animation or something like that, and like making the top of the chest part of the like skeleton armature thing. But I'm not a real game dev, so instead we'll just be doing this. How do I look up a one of those like special collision shape things? I know I do it in the player a lot. Array search with name, so we're just going to search our collision shapes and we're going to look for a thing with a specific name. Okay. So that's how we do it. First, we can draw the lid. That's going to be array search with name, so self.mesh.collision shapes. And we're going to look for, what did I name it? Top. I just called that pound top. And we'll be doing something similar with the position of the lock. That's going to return one of those like penguin sphere things, so I can just dot position that to get the actual position. Alright, I tried talking through that and typing at the same time, and it didn't go well, so I just typed this out. And we'll step through this step by step. So I'm going to take the lid position. This is going to be like the basic lid position, the offset from the origin and object space, and that's going to give us a vector 3. We're going to turn that into just a matrix 3. No, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to rotate the chest lid about the, I want to say that has to be the x-axis and not the z-axis as it is with the other things. I'm going to take the chest angle variable too, because we got to name our things right. Next, we're going to multiply in the position matrix of the lid position, and there we have the actual, like, the lids transform in object space, and from there we can continue as usual with with the chest's world space transform, and then apply that. And then that should give us a lid that opens. If I have to like explain the order of operations that's happening here, all right, so we're just rotating the opposite way. Okay, so we can rotate it the opposite way around the axis. If I have to step through this slower and explain the each transformation in turn a little bit better, okay, it's a little slow, but it will suffice. Then I can do that, but I feel like if I did that for each and every one of these objects, we'll be here for a while. You'll probably also notice that there's going to be a lot of redundant code and a lot of things that could be optimized in some of these objects with complex pieces, and I'm sure I'll get to that later. But first, the spell unlock symbol. This should have its center at the this should have its origin at the middle center. I wondered why it was offset to the side, and then I realized that sprite origins matter. And lastly, there's the matter of whether or not each of these has their lock, should be drawing their lock. And I could check if state equals closed or whatever, or I could just say draw lock for each of these states. It's going to be false for pretty much everything that isn't the closed state. And then we can say let's draw the lock. Our lock position, I think that's just pound lock, right? All right, so yeah, that's pound lock is our lock's position. We don't need any funny rotations going on with the locks in object space, but we can just take the lock position matrix, build that out of the XYZ. The lock's position matrix for taking the chest's world space position, and the lock itself is going to be mesh index 2. And now these treasure chests are going to have a lock. If I cast a spell on it, then it's going to keep drawing the lock because I didn't write any code. I didn't include any code telling it otherwise. All right. Also, once again, that redundant matrix transform, not a huge deal. I don't believe it will actually set the shader uniform unless it's actually needed, like when something is submitted afterwards, but you're still doing it. Am I not allowed to just have variables? Alright, it's trying to turn it into a function, so alright, fine. I will not be fancy with attaching extra snow state properties to all these structs. I will just say if self.state.get state equals closed. Is it get current state? It might be get current state. Alright. Well, snow state wasn't having it with what I was trying to do, so I don't know if that's something that's since been addressed by Sahan with the snow state thing, or if that's something that is intended behavior, but I'm just not using it right. Let's see. So if we stand here in front of the chest, it's got our lock on it. If we cast our unlock spell on it, the lock goes away and it opens. And we've got a little bit of the floor Z fighting through the bottom, so I might want to move the bottom of the treasure chest up just a little bit so that it it's visibly in front of the floor or whatever other surface it's sitting on. But that sounds like a problem for me when I'm off camera, because that will be boring and slow, and you probably don't care about that. Anyway, we've got chests. And I don't know what they've been doing with GitHub Desktop, but it seems to want to restart to update a lot recently. I don't know. They've been fairly active with releases. I don't know if they just recently like put out a major release and then there was like a hotfix or something, the way the GameMaker sometimes does, or something like that. Anyway, let's see. I can check off the unlock spell. I can check off the treasure chest. Oh, a couple more things with regard to the treasure chests, actually. So, generally, when you have a treasure chest, you want it to have, like, contents inside it, and you want those contents to be, like, flung out when it's opened, hence the expel contents. And you probably want, like, an array of items that the treasure chest contains, like, I don't know, currency or health potions or something like that. And I currently don't have anything set up for that. I just have the single expel contents method. What I really want to be, like, customizable, I think, is, like, an array of chest contents, and then they all just get flung in the air around the chest when you open it. But since I don't actually have any items yet in the game to expel, I think that's going to be one of those future me tasks. And likewise, this is something that I did in Wizardex, and I don't think there's, like, a great amount of use for it, but if you ever wanted a treasure chest that can't just be unlocked by magic, if you want a treasure chest which, like, you have to do something else to open up, then it might be useful to just have a variable definition there, can be unlocked. It might be useful to say if we can be unlocked, do this so that there's that check, and then also include that check when you draw the lock. So if I were to spawn another one of these, nope, that wasn't the right thing. If I spawn another one of these, say next to it, if I have its can be unlocked property set to false, this is, I guess, somewhat like the button's, like, infinite use property or something to that effect. But that one is not drawn with the lock on it. We probably should be not like targeting you with a spell. Like, we should probably not be able to target you with a spell if that's the case too. So what would the easiest way to address that be? So it can be unlocked as false. Spell response. It's spell response, right? Alright, spell response, and we can just set that to undefined. And now I can't target that with a spell, which is fine. Alright. Some funny jittering around the border of that chest there. Haven't seen that since I did the... What was it? Oh, am I trying to go, like, in the air? Am I trying to climb it, but not able to? Anyway, I haven't seen, like, the jitter like that since I did the sphere displacement. Anyway. So that's that. I also am going to want, like, a door. And this should be very similar to treasure chest. This should be another one of those, like, I can largely just duplicate the treasure chest. I do not have a like a model for a door, or even, like, not even a model, but like a wall for a door. Just any shape that can represent a door. I guess I can just, like, take one of these blocks and just, like, rotate them when it opens. Do I want to do that? Fine. I don't want to put off doors until another video. So let's take our spell treasure chest. We can control deduplicate that spell door. We can spawn a door like that. I will give you a block for now. Let's just leave that there. Doors are also going to get the unlock. Out of curiosity, this will just crash if I cast a spell on it, or even just in general, because it's going to try and draw parts of the model that it doesn't have, right? Yeah, alright. Can't do that to any interesting effect. Let's see. So first, we can have our door states. Let's call that, instead of like chest angle, door angle. Instead of saying expel contents. Doors typically don't do that. As for states, we have closed, we have opening, and we have closing, so that's pretty much all the same. When you're in the closed state, if you get hit by a spell, if you can be unlocked, you are going to change to opening. When you're in the opening state, we'll take the door angle, which is going to be, it's going to swing open by that amount. I think instead of making the target angle 90 degrees, I'll make it, instead of making it 120 degrees, I'll make it 90 degrees. We have our open state, which is just going to be the least interesting. You can't, it's going to be basically static once it goes there. And the update, or the closed state, the closing state. We can also have the door swing closed behind us. Maybe I will like give the open state an on spell, just for testing, so that I can see it closing and opening. Reasons for closing doors are probably going to be more to do with like other things in the game, like an NPC that might close a door or something like that. Let's see. I'll also have to deal with collisions at some point, so that'll be something separate. But as for the door itself, we've already got rotation mat, don't we? But the rotation in door space, so that's going to be 0 translation. Rotation about the y-axis, so that's going to be self dot door angle. None on the z. Uniform scale of 1. The position mat can be multiply the position into the door rotation matrix like that. This is going to be the door's transformation in world space, and then we can take that transformation, multiply it into the door's rotation in world space. However, since I'm also going to need, in this case, rotation to work for collision purposes, would it be better? How is update collision positions working? We're taking our rotation matrix, so should I modify the rotation matrix directly and then call the update collision positions method on the door? That might just be better. So when we're in our door angle, this is going to be the number of degrees that it has rotated. So for this purpose, door angle isn't actually going to be used for anything, but we will take our rotation matrix and multiply that by a rotation about the z-axis, that is door angle difference, which is the amount that it's been changed, the amount that it's changed. I would just say multiply it by this value here, except the amount that it actually changes could be less than this value if like the approach function clamps it. Z rotation, scale of 1, and we're going to need to do something similar down here when it closes. All right. Oh, and I'm also going to need to update collision positions. Otherwise, all that will be basically pointless. For collision purposes, anyway. I think the visual model will still move. So if we have this block, all right. So it's going to don't climb it, for God's sake. All right. So it's actually going to push me to the side too. I was thinking, I hope it does that. And when I cast on it, it's a collision, like its collision is updated appropriately. This is actually really satisfying. I was not expecting that to work on the first try, because that's kind of a big task, but it apparently did. Alright, please stop that. Should I have set this thing's model to like the bridge instead so that it's bigger and it doesn't have climbing on it like that? That'll really give me a shove when I open it. Alright. So if I cast open on you, you're gonna swing open. If I, like, stand here and do it again, we just got shoved. Alright, I love that. That makes me far too happy that this works. That we have doors just this easily. I remember trying to do something like this a long time ago, many years ago, back when I just started doing 3D stuff in GameMaker. And it was a nightmare, and at least part of that is because I didn't understand what the collision system was doing as well, and I'm sure another big part of that was because, like, at the time I probably didn't have as good of a grasp on the order of operations for the transforms here, but we've got doors that don't look like doors, but that's an artistic problem, not a code problem. Alright, I'm way too happy about that. Let's check that off. Did I really assign that 8 points? Mispredicted that one, didn't I? I thought the updating collision positions was going to be a lot more trouble than it ended up being, but I guess I didn't see it coming that it was going to be a little bit more painless than that. Anyway, I am going to end this off here. I think that is a good place to stop for today. If I look at the burn down chart, I feel like we're going to be advancing the deadline a little bit because the last 2 videos worth of stuff didn't take quite as long as I thought they were going to, but that's nice. But we got some things that will allow us to do some interesting things in level design done today. Next time, are there anything else I want to do with unlock? There's the matter of secret walls and like walls that you can cast the unlock spell on and they'll like fall away, or things of that nature. I guess I'll do that next time. I might also just make next time just a general cleanup video because the asset browser is getting a little messy. There's a couple other things that are getting a little messy, so I might make that a cleanup video. Where were we? If you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository in the video description. I try to post about 2 game dev videos a week, one let's make a game like this, and one tutorial, so if you're interested in the weird 3D things you can do in GameMaker, feel free to subscribe. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute to the channel, links to that can be found in all the usual places. And if you wanted to contribute anything, I would definitely appreciate it. Otherwise, I hope you all found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, GameMaker, Gamer Player, John Luigi Celentano, Manta Ray, Sindra Larson, Squarecrow, Vitro V, and Zenjamin for supporting these videos. If you want to contribute to the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.